I've been waking at 10 missed calls. Another email that I ain't replying to. Yo, what's going on? Welcome to the Premier Battles podcast. I am the co-owner of Bison Briggz alongside Shotty Horror. Podcast is still going. Don't know where it's going to go. Don't know who we're going to end up talking to on here. But I am joined today by an absolute, you definitely categorise him as a UK veteran. Sort of moulded a generation of styles that we've seen in battle rap that we didn't see before he stepped into the pit. Still remember the first time ever seeing this guy battle as well. Pamflit, what's going on?
Easy, man. It's funny you say that. I said the story to Tom, but one of my most prominent memories of my battle rap career was your first battle, mainly because of Els, admittedly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I definitely remember that battle, like in my head vividly. Yeah,
that was mad that time because, like, who was I talking to about this the other day? Like, when I battled at the Attic, which is Zombie Shack now, like there was probably 30 people in the room, but that was a lot of people back then. Like,
yeah, that event was who was it? Who was it? You? It was you. You battled, and then everyone fucked off.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. It was the venue was like a decent sized crowd. It was a tournament, so my first two battles in that tournament as a good crowd, and then you battled. Everyone fucked off, and then we had the final, me and Chronicle versus O'Shea and Innuendo, and there's about 10 people left.
Yeah, I remember that. That was when, was that the same event Rids battled? Remember Rids? The big tall ball
guy. I battled him, yeah. Was he bald?
Big tall ball guy I think his partner was...
I can't remember if he was bald or not.
Was it Analyst or Foresight?
Yeah, Analyst. No. Foresight, yeah. They look the same, Analyst. They're basically the same person, aren't they? With a few differences. I was the opponent. He said, "I'll make your kids my kids and sell them fiver bits."
Yeah.
Classic.
Is there no dress code to this place?
Yes. Yeah, man. That was brilliant. Back in the day, because there was no expectations, and so people like Rids could turn up, chat shit, and that was what was entertaining about it. I couldn't remember what Geezer last month said, who spent 2-3 months writing his bars, but I can still remember I'll make your kids my kids. A random freestyle some crap Geezer come up with.
There was a lot of quotables back then. Like you say, I think it was because it was all fun. Not even fun, but it was all us as well. Like, I remember turning up, I'd watch every battle that was on the event. I'd know people's stories going into each battle, who's got beefs with who, or who's looking to do this to someone.
Yeah.
Nowadays, like even at events, you just want to get the
people wanted to be there. People were fans back in the day. People wanted to be there. I think these days, people just aren't into it as much, and it's a real shame. I think if people were more into it, then there would be the stories, there would be the background, and people. It's a shame. It's sad, and I don't know why, Briggs. I don't know why. Yeah. Do you know why? Do you know why people aren't into battle rap as much anymore?
I think there's a few things. I think we have to go back because there's not many of us left that was involved before Don't Flop went viral. So I think that had a big impact on it. But I think before then, it was a weird subculture sort of. If you knew what Don't Flop was, you were sort of in the know of that scene. Outside of that, everyone else was just rappers and making music and didn't really give a shit about battle rap.
But why? Why was that peak? Why was that peak when it went up and then it's gone down? Why has that sort of closed the door on so many new fans and just even the passion that the fans have got? Why did that peak ruin everything? Was it too much?
I don't think it ruined it. I think it opened doors for a flood of new fans to come in.
Yeah, who weren't as passionate.
Yeah, so they'd seen Lunacy, they'd seen Mark Grist and Blizzard, which at the time was just called Student vs. Teacher. Seen Shotty vs. Arsenal, and then take away them 3 battles. Obviously, there was a couple that still went viral, but they were just casual fans that sort of dropped off, got older, had kids, didn't have time to go to events anymore. I think a lot of politics happened as well, like not just the Don't Flop situation, but the amount of fans I speak to that go, I've not been to an event for ages because I was victimised on the forum, or people were talking.
Yeah.
Even people like, look at Jefferson Price, you know what I mean? Like he was at every, even when he wasn't battling, he was at every event. There's a ton of fans like that. Like, I don't know if you.
But then in the scene, before that, you had a guy called Illegal in America. Do you know about Illegal?
The name rings a bell, yeah.
Yeah, he was a kid. He spat Maltese. He tried out for the WRCs the year after the Saurus and Immaculate won the second time.
Yeah,
when they battled an Archaic. He was doing well, and then pictures surfaced from his MySpace where he was naked with another bunch of men.
Yeah.
All, I don't know if they had their hands in each other's pants, or there was some sort of homosexual element to it. So that was a controversy. That ruined a guy's battling career, but everything kept on. Everything kept thriving. So I couldn't pinpoint it on the Jefferson Price thing, although it did. It made it more real. The Jefferson Price thing made it more real for us.
Yeah, definitely.
It has an effect on your real life.
I generally reckon that Jefferson Price moment made every battler actually look at stuff they're putting online and stuff people around at events. And I think these key moments like that do knock people away, but it's hard to really pinpoint why.
Back in the day, right, it was great, right, because you had all these characters from around the country. You had Definition in Newcastle, you had Innuendo, Shay in Liverpool, you had Prince Kong in Brighton. All these people from around the country, all these big characters, and they all got together once a month and battled each other and proved things to each other. And then you left as well, and it's like, and then you continued it on the internet. The internet was in its birth. I just don't know why the fans aren't as passionate. The battlers aren't as passionate. But I think that goes hand in hand. I think the battlers will be passionate with passionate fans because the battlers want that admiration from the fans.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
What come first, the chicken or the egg? The battlers or the fans? Who's more responsible for sort of the lack of? It's got to be the battlers, right? The battlers make the fans.
Yeah, but in some cases, I think going back to sort of the viral boom points, I think a lot of fans became battlers as well, which had a definite impact because there was fans who were going to every Don't Flop event. Then they'd done a tryout, got killed, and never came back. Not even as a fan. Whether that's out of embarrassment because he got killed or what, I don't know. But
do you think? Sorry.
No, go on. What are you going to say?
I was going to say, do you think the first nail in the coffin was that 2012 Killer Crop? Because that really opened the door for a lot of fans. That was like literally, if you're a fan, you could be a star in a matter of months.
Yeah, I think it definitely had. I mean, you can't knock it because at the same time, it did generate a lot of sick battle rappers that came from that crop.
Definitely.
But at the same time, when I got involved, I don't know if it was the same for you, the first thing Rowan asked me was to send him links to my music because pretty much everyone was a rapper. I didn't go through the normal tryout route because I don't think there was even tryouts at that time. I just basically got saying, do you want to battle? Send me your music video because obviously I knew Chronicle anyway from Manchester. So, but at the same time, like you say, I think everyone was making music at that point. There was probably one or two that weren't really.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, but you could still jump in a cypher or you could still freestyle. You know what I mean? There was some sort of technical aspect of what you do. So yeah, I think 12, 13 did open the door for a lot of fans to become battle rappers, and then adjust and thought it's not for me. This scene entirely.
The other thing is, I've always said this about artists. I use Jamie T as an example. I loved his first album. Every song was an absolute banger, and then after that, I think he fell off. Now, I attribute that to the fact that he spent years and years touring, gigging, coming up with songs, creating songs, perfecting songs, taking bits out that didn't work, changing lyrics, got the time to bring that album out. He had everything ready there, went really well, and then he had a year to produce another one. So he's gone from having 10 years of practice to a year of trying to get the next thing. So you've got 10 years of battle rap with Jump Off and early grind time. Don't Flop starts. You've got all these fans that have built up all that time, a whole talent pool. Now they've decided to leave, and now all of a sudden you've got a year to try and recreate that talent pool. That's probably what happened, really.
Definitely. Mate, the talent pool is one big thing. Like, we noticed it. So the first year we did Premier Battles, we did the team format, and we literally went out of our way to make sure what we thought was the top active battlers at the time. So we had Dialect, Villain, Raptor, did it all in the league. What happened was at the back end of the league, people like Raptor, Dialect, P Soldier, can't think who else off the top of my head, Villain, basically all said, look, we've done 7 years of this. We want to break. Like, we're going to step out of battle rap. But then the next step down was, not to say they were worse battlers, but in terms of profile and view count and everything else, the pool was so thin. It was like deep out at some point just to make matchups because obviously the Don't Flop situation with all the staff had a big effect on the scene in regards to people were still choosing who they were fucking with, right? When it had, let's be real, it had nothing to do with 90% of the scene. I think things are slowly going back to a bit more enjoyment. I've noticed the crowd picking up a bit.
What I want is you're talking to Major the other day. I want these guys like Major, like Lazy Ass Jack, to be battling every month.
Yeah,
because it's practice for them. The crowd gets used to them. They can create those storylines that we were talking about at the start of this conversation.
Yeah.
Picking and choosing and waiting 3 months or waiting 4 months. It's like you get the hype about someone, you watch their battle, you really enjoy it. You're waiting for that next one, and when it doesn't drop for 2, 3, 4 months, the passion, the excitement to see this guy's next stuff dies out. But then maybe it was easier for us to do it every month when there wasn't all these battle bars that had been used up already. Do you know what I mean? You could literally rhyme, you could do the mum jokes for the first unique time and not worry about them being done before. So maybe it's just diluted itself to that point. I mean, it definitely has, hasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. There was a point where there was probably 7 leagues in the UK at one point, all doing events every month. So you get battlers where, see, I agree and I disagree with battling every month. Obviously, we've had this conversation before online, but I think with the way fans are, not just in battle rap, just humans really, with music and everything, like, we're so easy to throw away what's not hot anymore. So, for example, if Major concerns battles every month for the next 6 months, the second he loses 2 on the bounce, people forget about him and on to the next one, and his career lasted 4 months.
Losing though is losing that bad, Brixie, because I could take a loss knowing that I was going to come back next month, and then if I lost in February, I'd try and win in March. I'd be more excited to come back and win in March and get that winning streak going again.
No, I know what you mean with that. I think it depends who you are as a battler. Let's just take Raptor for example. People love to say Raptor lost, even when he won. People will go, "Oh, he lost. Raptor lost his shit. He's lost." And then you look at when we was doing the first year of Premier Battles, people said we couldn't put Raptor on the All-Star game at the end of the year, even though he'd battled on every event, because he'd lost every battle.
Yeah.
But he'd lost to O'Shea, Quill, Villain, like the top tier guys sort of thing. Yeah. And he was pulling in the highest view count on the league. So fans look at that and go, Raptor's shit, he's not won for 2 years. Whereas when we were battling, obviously we have a thing where we have to judge at Premier Battles. We wanted to bring that back into it. But I think the promo thing did a lot of damage. Well, people didn't give a shit if you won or lost.
Yeah.
Whereas now, when it is judged, you do have an official winner and an official loser.
See, but then that's where you want Raptor to be battling Major Concerned or battling Lazy Ass Jack, beating them comfortably.
Yeah.
If win loss matters that much, but where was I going to go there? Do you know what? As you're talking, I'm thinking of 8 different things I want to say, and it's like I get to my turn, it's like I can't remember any of them. So it's formulas. It's formulas in writing. When I sit down to write, I already know that I'm going to have comparison bars. Yeah. You look like this, and then it's like, what does he look like? And then it's simple as that. I say you look like so and so had sex with so and so. Do you know what I mean? In every single battle I've ever done. It's formulas. I'm not sitting there coming up with original material, because you can't do that every month. It's original material, but it's just tweaks. It's just changed. And all I'm doing is going out there and reciting the same old shit, presented differently, and people are enjoying it. This is what these guys need to sort of learn how to do, is recycle and get their formula down so they can keep doing the same thing. It's not over-challenging to write. For Major, I mean, the thing is with these styles these days, it is over-challenging because they try and be too clever. Well, that's what I was going to say. Be too clever, yeah.
I think when we was first in, there were so many battlers in. You could box category battle rappers, like you would have your Souls, for example, who are like the writing is different, but they couldn't sustain battling every month because the way they write, the way they structure rounds. And then you had a box of like yourself, even to Pedro to an extent, like entertain the crowd know what they're going to get from that battler, and they're always going to walk away going, that was fun.
And you're more excited before they even started spitting. I'm going to get this Pedro shit. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You know what you're going to get.
Use people like your style, Pedro. I'm trying to think who else.
Even Zayn Asrai.
Zayn, O'Shea. O'Shea. They're the battlers you can put on any card, will do a job, and the fans will walk away happy with what they've seen.
Yeah.
And you also do need the flip side of your souls and your majors, people who will, because that's one thing that I've noticed with the UK scene. There is an emergence of fans who want to see writing. Like, that's where they look to. You can tell.
The thing is, though, all the battlers these days, they want to be the cleverest kid in class.
Yeah.
They all want to be known as the next soul. They want to be the next soul. They all want to think that they have the opportunity to get on that URL stage and that they can compete. They can be the next shotty.
Yeah.
And they can't, and they shouldn't try and do that.
Yeah.
And if they all want to try and do that, then put them in that box and put them to one side. But there isn't the emergence of, because no one wants to be the idiot. No one wants to be the fool. Everyone wants to be the cleverest kid in class. There's no class clowns anymore. And it's easier to be a class clown than the cleverest kid. There's only one cleverest kid in school.
Well, look at Georgie Roots, for example. He's come out with a bit of comedy to his material and he's clowning. And his profile's rising quicker than most sort of battle.
Than anyone at the moment.
That's what I was kind of saying with, you could box people at the time when, like, I think Shotty, Luna, let's just say Shotty, Luna, Blizzard for now, the viral ones. When they came out, you had 30 people that came out sounding like Luna C, 30 people that came out sounding like Shotty. Even though he wasn't as good, what they did was they filled that box of battle rappers. So if I go, right, I need Pamflit on an event and you're not available, I can go, right, well, O'Shea will probably be available then. I need that person, the crowd are going to love, they're going to have a beer, laugh and entertainment. Now you don't have that. It's so thin going. As soon as you go past the first, you know what? I'd probably say, if I'm being honest, active battle rappers in the UK, I reckon we have less than 25. Active event. Obviously, there's people who are trying out, people who are up and coming, but you can't really sell an event on them names yet. Whereas back when we were doing it, there was loads.
Do you think it's the direct influences? Because you had Jay Short, who I mean, not anymore. He's completely got his own style now. But at the time, everyone was saying he sounded like Luna.
Yeah.
He sounded like Luna basically. But he sort of had, that was the direct from him, and then there was that massive gap. And there's that sort of did that cut the stream off the gap?
Yeah, you know what? It's interesting you say that, because you know what I think it could be down to as well. Like, at that time, we had superstars in the UK, you know, that were getting significant opportunities and big views. So it wasn't a bad thing to go, I want to be the next Luna C. Whereas the only superstars in battle rap now are URL guys, which is probably why a lot of people are going, I want to be that guy. We don't have stars like that now.
Yeah.
Because I remember, mate, when I first got into this, O'Shea was like a fucking legend. He still is now, but like...
It still is now, but he was the first,
I said the other day to someone else, like, if I ever finish, I'd never say I retire, but if I ever finished my battle rap career, I'd love it to be against O'Shea, just because of... I feel like he brought me into battle rap and to go out of battle rap. And that's a testament to O'Shea, because he's been doing it for 15 years or whatever. But yeah, there's not... I don't think these names that people will go, I want to be the next Tony D, I want to be the next Shotty Ora, because they're not active anymore. And we've not generated that next block of them names.
Yeah, it's the reason I don't come back into it is because I don't want to be, I don't want to sort of be a figurehead for it. What I want is for the scene to recreate itself, and then I'll come back and start appearing on cards and that. Yeah. But there needs to be, and I think a lot of people are the same. These guys, they don't want to come back and try and sell a card and have all these people underneath them. I think I'd love to come on a card and have all these newcomers and be the third battle down or the fourth battle down. And so the scene's recreated itself as opposed to just us coming back. And so I think that's why a lot of people have fallen off, which is a shame. But I think you look at some names, as I say, Lazy Ass Jack, I think not only because he's got skill, but he's lanky, he's tall, he's got a unique look, which gives his opponent something to direct, which gives him flips to write and prepare and come with, and it creates a better battle. Georgie Roots, your two boys, Dean and Major. Yeah. That's 4 names there. And all you need is, I keep saying it, Balski, Mickey, me, Pedro, a couple of O'Shea on every single battle card. You go back and look at that big era, it's the same name, yourself, Soul, Tony. We were on every single battle card. All you need is, add to those 4 names I just said there, you need probably about 5, 6, 7 newcomers. And these guys that are hanging around to just be more regular.
Yeah.
And suddenly you've got a scene again. And suddenly I'll come back because I see there's a scene. I don't need to worry about having to try really hard to be Canel's another guy, you know what I mean? 10, 15 people to battle each other. The best time in wrestling for me was the Attitude Era, because you had Ken Shamrock. Forget the world champ, forget Rock and Austin. You had Ken Shamrock, Badass Billy Gunn, Goldust, Road Dogg, all these guys at intercontinental level. Even sort of before that, Mr. Perfect, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels. It's the intercontinental level. It's that mid-tier that hold everything together. Because you've got Shawn Michaels fighting Bret Hart, and you've got Bret Hart wins the title and fights Roddy Piper, and then Roddy Piper fights Mr. Perfect. So each time you've got these combinations. You've got 14 people, but in those 14 people, you've got 32 or whatever different combinations of two battlers. 32 battlers of 32 different battles, one a month. That's 2 years worth of battle events. You know?
No, mate, I agree. I think
it's a shame.
I think one thing we were blessed with when we got in. I don't want this conversation to be like, oh, look at them old guys talking about the new generation, like back in our day. But
that's what we're here for. We're talking about what we know.
But I think the thing
what I want in 5 years is for these guys to be able to do what we're doing now. Because to look back at the fun times we had, I want other people to experience that.
Oh, mate, well, I said it to Major Concerns the other day. Like, there's nothing better in my eyes to one day say the champion of Premier Battles is a guy that came through the Academy series. Like, he came from the bottom.
Yeah.
I don't want to be relying on Raptor Soul to sell out Apex. I'd rather go, fucking hell, let's go and get Major Concerns, a big international or a big UK guy. Like, that's where we want it to go. But one thing I've noticed coming into this as a promoter rather than a battler now is, I don't know when it changed, but when I was battling, I know yourself, you definitely did this. Like, you battle pretty much whoever was offered to you.
Yeah.
Now it's like the amount of battlers I speak to that have had 2 battles and they'll go, nah, he's below me. And it's like,
yeah,
you're getting 1,000 views. Like, you're not selling no tickets.
And this is the passion. This is the passion we were talking about earlier. They don't love it like we did. And it's a shame. Because if they loved it, because I used to love, like, you'd be giving your opponent and then it's like, what, this blank canvas, now what can I say? What's he got? Even if if he's boring, if he's got nothing about him, then it's like, well, what can you say about boring people? But it's like, you could say that about 90% of battle rappers anywhere or people anywhere are just plain geezers. So then it's like, right, I can't say that now. Maybe how can I take that back a stage and say I'm bored of being bored about? Do you know what I mean? So it's like the whole creative writing process seems to be like, I want this guy, I want that guy, because and it said what I said in my third against Canel. What can I get out of the battle scene? What does the battle scene? What can it give me instead of what can I give it? And you're not nourishing the battle scene unless you're giving it something. You're taking out. That's how it's.
Yeah, of course.
It's depleting. Yeah.
No, I definitely agree, because I think, like, especially when I first got into Don't Flop, there was a couple of battles that I didn't want to do, but I'd still take them. Like, the way me and Hulk was having this conversation one of the events last year, like, obviously I'm 32, Hulk's a bit older than me, I think, but, like, we're at a point where this is my getaway on a weekend. I've got 2 kids, I've got a full-time job. Like, I go to these battle events to have a beer with a few mates that I'll probably not see all year, have a bit of a battle because I'm into hip-hop, and then that's it. And I think that's carried from first coming into Don't Flop to where I'm at now, whereas you see some of these kids that turn up and it's like, I'm better than him, I'm not going to battle him anymore. Like, I need an international now. I've won 3 battles on the bounce. Like, just enjoy it, because this whole shit can end tomorrow. It's a chance to get drunk, have a few battles on the belt, and then maybe if you get that one battle that pops and goes massive, then look for your international. But for the minute, build your name.
But maybe, But if it doesn't,
Mate,
see, I haven't got photos. I don't really take.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
I was going to say, I don't really take photos, but I watch my old battles back, and it's like moving memories. I see, what Earl was wearing that day, and I remember like him getting someone being sick on his t-shirt and or whatever. That didn't happen, but I'm saying all these little stories the journey to the battle event, the waiting, and the incidents that happened afterwards, and that. It's like moving pictures. It's memories.
No, of course.
And that's what people need to be doing. They need to be wanting to be at the events instead of wanting to get the fame from it. They want to be,
just get involved. I think that's how you find your style as a battler as well. Like, just by battling people you never... Like, I remember the day I still remember, that's how badly I lost this battle, but I still remember being stood there. I battled Mixer, and I never, ever should have battled Mixer with my style that I had. And I remember it, and we did the first round, and then his first round came in, and he said something so... I remember trying so hard with punchlines and metaphors and wordplay. And he literally said something like, "You look, what was it now? You look like Shrek got tangled or something, yeah." And the crowd went, "Oh." I remember being stood there thinking, "Shit, I've been doing this for so long now, and I've worked out what my style is now. I shouldn't be battling guys like this who are just going to take the piss out of me in 2 lines because it's a lot."
Yeah.
But you don't learn what you are as a writer until you've been doing this for so long and battled against comedians and writers and joke guys, viral guys. That's how you got better as a battle rapper, because you could adapt to any situation. I don't think a lot of them have that now, which is a shame.
The best laughs I've had at battle events, and I'll use Els as an example, is when he's not saying anything. When he's not saying. So that's what I'm saying. A battle event, when you're watching someone perform spoken word and they're not saying anything, and you're having the best time. That's incredible. That's what it's about.
Elsie's death stare. When he just had that silence and just stared at his opponent.
Yeah, because he's working out. He's working out what he's just said. What have I just said there?
The best moment was when he was silent. He'd stare at you and he'd raise his finger, and he's fought the first part of the line, but he's not got the punch yet.
See, we're laughing at the idea of him doing that. It's just that it's classic, man. I remember him versus Zayn as well. I was so hyped for that battle.
Yeah,
I remember I can hear him. I'm a bit sort of embarrassed about it now, watching that battle back, because I was so hyped for it. I can hear myself in the crowd just laughing away. And it wasn't a great battle in the end, but it was the hype. I was so excited for it.
Mate, so like when we did that Battling Demons event last year for Pete, the atmosphere it reminded me of an old Dope Flop event. Like everyone was there getting drunk. Because I came down with Shot and neither of us were battling. We weren't even meant to host. We just got asked to host.
I was shocked to see you two. Yeah, I was like, right, she too.
Yeah, well, I'm involved in the events planning with Battling on that anyway, so I was going to be there. But Shotty was just like, I want to go down and enjoy it as a fan. I'm not battling. And he just mixed in with everyone else and had a beer. But that's what we want to try and get it back to. Was just like, it was entertaining. It was fun. Like I was drunk on stage, laughing at battles. Like I've not been in stitches like that for ages at an event. And I think it's just because everyone let their hair down on that event as well and just got involved and outside talking to people in the smoking areas and stuff like.
Why can't it happen? Why can't it happen every month?
I don't know. I just don't think there's. I don't think the talent pool's thick enough anymore.
No, but there was how many battles were there?
I think there was only 5 in the end, wasn't there? We had a couple fallout.
Right. Obviously, people were doing it out of the love of Pete, right?
Yeah.
But you take what you waste. No, I wasted. I'm not having a go at all. Take sort of the loss of one guy who didn't turn up to the Apex event.
Yeah.
Was it Apex? Yeah.
Apex, yeah.
You take the loss of one, and you pay Scissors more money than he's probably going to earn in a week. I mean, I don't know how much these guys ask for, but like this is what I was saying to you the other day. And obviously, we went around in circles. Whenever we talk, we go around in circles. It's like we want this to happen, we want that to happen, but it can't happen. Oh shit! Do you know what I mean? We know what we want, but why can't we give Scissors 500 quid instead of giving Tay-Rock 2,000 quid? I don't even know. He might ask double that, but why can't we give Scissors versus English 500 quid each?
You know what it is from a promoter's perspective, though? Scissors, if I book Tay-Rock and give Tay-Rock $2,000, for example, I'm going to make that $2,000 back.
Yeah.
Whereas with Scissors in English,
but
it's not there. Like even the views on that, I was like 2,000.
But you say you're going to make that money back, right? You make that money back straight away, yeah. But when Tay-Rock doesn't try, when Tay-Rock doesn't engage with the crowd, and Tay-Rock doesn't give that crowd what they want, and make them laugh and make them leave happy and get them, and what we've been talking about, get them sat outside in the smoking area chatting. That battle was sick. I love that joke he said there. Oh, this reminds me back in the day or whatever. The kids there seeing the reaction and thinking, I want that. I want to be silly like Scissors is being.
Yeah. And
then so then the next event you get the crowd back and the crowd say, oh, that battle last month was sick. Come to honestly, come to this event with me. Spend that £5.
Yeah.
And you'll really enjoy yourself. So it's building. Do you know what I mean? Instead of just throwing $2,000 at someone, getting the views and making the money back straight away, but then the next month people are like, well, Taylor, that was a bit dry, that battle. Do you know what I mean? Because he didn't try, because he doesn't care.
See, that's the gamble with Americans, though. Not even Americans, internationals. Like, you can get them and they come over and they're incredible. And
when was the last time that happened?
We booked real sick for Maverick. That went off at All-Star game. To be fair, that Apex event, most of them, Real Deal versus Jay Short, Red Flag versus Raptor, all done good. Major concerns.
Yeah, but how much? I mean, I'm not going to ask you how much that cost you, but I'm saying, was it worth it for you? Was it worth it for you?
The original outlay for Tay-Rock, JC, Twerk, and all them, no. I've already talked about it anyway, but we lost 14 grand on that.
But sorry, I don't know why it keeps doing it. Because it's a crap iPad. If they'd all turned up, and all performed at the level that you'd expect them to, would it have been a success? And when I say expect them to, I don't mean expect them to on their top day. I mean, or were you doing what you thought you needed to do to put on a high level battle event?
Yeah, not just in terms of fans, in terms of bringing interest outside of, because bear in mind what we were doing at the same time. We was working on the documentary with Unilad. We did the rap game with the BBC, and we was a channel that only had 7,000 subscribers at that time. Don't Flop has got 500,000, I think. So that one event, because bear in mind the year before we did, I think it was 14 events, and every battle was UK versus UK, apart from the Cole and Ilmac event, which was the last one we did.
That's probably the best battle you've ever put on, in my opinion. I think, by the way.
That was worth the investment. That cost a bit of money, but that was worth the investment, because straight away it made an audience outside of what we had already go, fucking hell, there's a new league in the UK, because obviously Don't Flop was still being talked about as falling apart with everyone. So what Apex was, our original idea was take all the money we made from the first year, put a bit more in ourselves, and put on the biggest event in the UK that we can get, which was bringing Shotty back after 4 years. We talked to...
No doubt, Shotty's a pinnacle,
we spoke to Luna C, we spoke to Kruger. We tried to get all these big names back, but obviously some of them didn't pan out. But the idea for that event was to get an international, not battlers, international fan base watching UK battle rap again, because if Shotty kills Tay-Rock, Tony kills JC, Bobby killed Twerk, these are three of the biggest names in battle rap period at the minute. So if UK guys are giving good performances against them, in our perspective, it would have gone, fucking hell, that's a solid UK league. It's not a UK battle rap league. That's a battle rap league in the UK, because we wanted to try and drop the UK off the start of it. Because
but the UK will always be there, Briggsy. The UK will always be there. And what you said the other day, I think it was with Major, was that you can put Raptor, a local league can put Raptor against Johnny Anybody.
Yeah.
No one wants to watch Raptor versus Johnny Anybody. Now, Raptor's one of our top guys, but if you bring JC over and have him battle Raptor, that's the opinion the Americans have got of Raptor is the same that we've got of Johnny Anybody.
Yeah, but
that won't change. They have an opinion of us that we are inferior, and even if we perform better than them, that doesn't matter to them. They think he's gone over there and he's battled this guy, but now he's back and now he's here and now he's doing proper things. He's gone over there for the money. Even that's their opinion and that's their mindset. And also the other thing is we were talking earlier about these battle rappers wanting to be the URL guys or wanting to be the Barsmiths, wanting to be the clever guys. If we're paying. If the money, if our concern and our opinion is that the top guys are these URL guys, that's what these kids want to be. They want to be the top guys. And if we're saying the top guys are these Americans, and we can never achieve that because these guys aren't street, these guys aren't practicing what they're saying, they're not. So and there's no believability there. So the people they're following, and when we come in, and I was following O'Shea. I wanted to be O'Shea. I wanted to be the Saurus who was kind of on, that level, that jokey level. But now the top guys are these guys that we're never going to be. So this is what I'm saying. Scissors is sort of an easy example because it's like he's been out of it for a while, and it's like, and I maybe consider myself in that bracket of.
Yeah.
But if you turned around, I don't want 500 quid. But if you turned around and said, "I'll give you 500 quid to battle next month," I'd be like, I can't really turn down 500 quid, and I've always put my all into it. But again, I won't sell as many tickets as JC, and I won't get as many views as JC, but maybe I might influence the kid that watches to want to be me, or Scissors. I'm using Scissors as an easy example because I don't want to sound big-headed, but maybe that kid will want to be Scissors. Like, I wanted to be Scissors when I saw him.
I do hear what you're saying. I think there's a counterbalance to everything as well, though. Like you said, when I said about Raptor battling anybody in the UK league on a little league, there is a certain bubble of battle rappers that in the UK are respected overseas. For example, when Arsenal came over and battled Shotty, bear in mind Shotty was only a UK battle rapper at that time. He'd only battled...
Yeah, Shotty, Luna and Tony and O'Shea. 4 people. And the Americans back in the day, you must have seen this, they always battled O'Shea, they always battled Tony, because it doesn't matter who was popping, they'd say, I'm only going to come on if it's worth my time and battle O'Shea. Because they didn't care, no matter how good someone was. And then you had Villain coming through, but then Villain didn't live up to the hype with these big American names. I don't think they show us the respect we deserve, if I'm being honest with you. And I don't think they ever will.
To be honest, mate, that's why we learnt a lot on it. Bear in mind, Apex was the biggest event we've ever done. We've only been going less than just over 2 years now. So we learnt a lot on that event, and I probably would never go and book a big URL rapper again after that. Not because they didn't show, just because the whole drama that came with it. Like, I'd happily rather book... I'm still going to book internationals anyway, because they do something for the league. They generate... Because one thing, just so I'll go straight off and go back in a minute, but one thing we want to do with UK battle rap as well is like put on these events where you are going to see Jay Short versus Real Deal. But then what that'll do is start getting UK names back on World Domination. He's not been a UK guy on World Domination for 2 years. Like, so we're not getting a representation overseas at all. So that's one thing we thought, even if Organic watches Jay Short Real Deal because Real Deal's a champ and goes, he was good, let's get him out for World Domination. That battle alone has done its job. It's put a representative of this country on the big stage in the world sort of thing. And that's kind of where we need to push them back into it. I forgot what I was saying before. Where was I going before that? I would never book a big URL guy again unless it's someone I've previously worked with, or I know, like, I've got a good relationship with a few promoters now that are like recommend. For example, I would never book Serious Jones again. I wish I would have spoke to every other promoter about Serious Jones before I booked him, because he was a fucking nightmare to deal with.
He's whack as well. He's whack against Pat Stay. He was whack, and I'm sitting there thinking, how is this? And that's the other thing as well. But my love of battle rap, like world domination. You mentioned world domination. In my head, the world dominations 2, 3, 4 were the best world dominations, where you had your Sharon Krugers or Kid Twists. For me, that's world domination. But now, world domination is just another URL event.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, totally.
Fair,
I wouldn't be able to name you. I'm a battle rap fan, and I wouldn't be able to name you one world domination event, because I'm a battle rap fan, but I'm not a URL fan. Yeah. And I wouldn't be able to name you one world domination battle. Like, I know the last one was in England, so like Pat Stay battled in England. I don't know if it was on King of URL. That was a sick battle, by the way. That Pat Stay versus, who was it? Tay-Rock or whatever?
Tay-Rock, yeah.
Who was
That's why we booked Tay-Rock.
Honestly. Pat Stay bullied that kid, honestly, that geezer. He bullied him, honestly.
That's why we booked Tay-Rock.
Unbelievable.
Get over. We knew the London crowd liked him, and he was generating...
Well, I thought what I watched on there was Pat Stay treating a geezer who thought he was the bee's knees, like a piece of trash, honestly. And it was like, and that's why I loved it, because Pat Stay had no right in that crowd to act the way he did, and he did. And he does that all around the world. Pat Stay's the best. Yeah,
Pat Stay's number one for me. Mate, we tried, obviously, I don't know if I've ever said this before, but we tried booking Kruger versus Pat Stay at Apex.
Right.
Pat, literally, we spoke to Pat Stay, and he said the only person he wants is Kruger. so we hit Kruger up, and it was close to being locked in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just fell through at the last minute, but that's a battle, because, like I say, even just for my own nostalgia, just watching Kruger live again would be sick. I think that'd do a lot for UK battle rap, but some people just, their time spent in this scene, and you can understand why.
But why don't we build the next Kruger by putting on guys like Kruger? Do you know what I mean? Instead of guys like Tay-Rock.
It's literally finding them. Yeah. We've done the Academy for 3 years, and we brought through, obviously there's a couple of people like LSD that have been there and thereabout, but never really had the pop. But I think we've generated 8 brand new battlers. I know Dope Flop are doing their combat thing. They've got a few brand new battlers. But it's just generated.
See, I inboxed you. I said I like Leicester. I said I remember inboxing you. Say, is that his name, Leicester?
It's Leicester, the Scottish guy.
It's Leicester.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, another one, Boldin. I've messaged you and said I like Boldin. Yeah. If these guys, I watched Boldin's back catalogue because I saw one battle. I liked him, and I watched his back catalogue. If these guys were battling, I know your job isn't to cater for me, but I consider myself a fan of a style of battle rap. And if these guys are, but then it's like, why aren't they battling? Are they hitting you up? Are they asking for battles? I'm assuming not.
No, there's a few. Yes, Leicester's just battled for us. He battled for us in February. Like I say, Leicester's a name that came through. He's never battled before. He's only battled 3 times, all on Premier Battles.
Where's that footage though? Where's that footage? Because I saw him watch battles. It's all online,
yeah.
Cool.
Leicester, Boldin, he won our online audio tournament. I remember speaking to him about doing a battle, but it just never sort of happened. All right, mate. Yeah. I'd like to see Boldin battle. We've got...
He can construct multis like I used to. A lot of people used to. It's a flavour of the old school. He builds up via multis, the bar, and then drops a punchline.
No, definitely. There's a few good names coming through. So one of the things we did this year, we started last year, but we didn't really do it as much. We set an event called Undisclosed, which was like small room battle events. And it was for people like Celeste to build a name, get content out. But we've threw in a few people like Sean O'Max in there. So a few old school like Dope Flop names. Cole J and LSD headlined the last one. But I think that's where the thing we struggled with was we done the football Premier Battles team format, which we just tried to do something different because I thought if we come back to events like Dope Flop, we're just going to be called the new Dope Flop, which we didn't want. We made it exciting. We tried to. But when this talent pool dries up, it's hard to maintain doing that. So what we did was this year we said, let's call it the Attitude Era, and we'll just have everyone fighting for the title belt. Obviously, it's just not panned out. We've only done one event. Everything else has been cancelled. But that was the idea this year, was bringing a load of sort of established, like Balski was going to do a battle for us. A few established names were going to come in. A few up-and-comers just all battling out for, eventually, to battle matter for the title at the end of it. But I know Dope Flop are doing a few good events as well now. So it's just, I think we're getting to a balance. There's sort of a balance happening as well now. A few old school names have quit and left, and a few that were involved in the sort of politics and stuff, and just needs a bit of a balance. And that's one of the reasons I said I was going to sort of leave battle rap. Was
I was just going to ask you that. You've been talking like you're the league owner, and you've just said you're not the league owner. So what's going on here? Yeah,
no, still on Prem. I was going to leave at Apex 2, which was meant to be September, but I think we're going to do it in December now. You know what it is with me, pal? I'm just fucking tired of it. Like, I love doing it, but in a non-selfish way, part of me does think a lot of the old guard needs to step away and let people who have let sort of a bunch of new guys get a set of eyes on the scene and see where they can take it.
And even let it die out and rebuild itself.
Exactly. So I think
if
I step away, let's just say in a perfect world, I stepped away and gave someone Premier Battles. Rowan stepped away and gave someone Don't Flop. Beast Anglia a new league. Tally's got his new league coming. Just let a new set of eyes look at the scene and go, right, how can we change this and make it better? Because we're, even though we're trying not to, try every day not to do it, but you're still rehashing ideas that worked 5 years ago. Fucking hell, mate, I'm 32, I sound like a proper old, but these kids understand the internet way better than we will ever do.
Yeah, definitely. This is new for me, all this Zoom bollocks.
Mate, it's mad. Because, I think one of the things as well is when we was all coming through Don't Flop, I was in university, so I was bringing 30 people to an event with me that were in my class, and I don't want that anymore, you know what I mean? I can't really say to like my line manager at United, do you want to come and fucking watch rap battles?
Yeah.
Off.
And you shouldn't be. The kids that are battling should be.
I know,
do you know
exactly.
what I mean? And this is what I mean. Let it die out, because at the end of the day, the people that are going to continue it are the people that show the passion. You show the passion, but you're showing a passion that has come from a generation before. Yeah. The only way it's going to progress and continue or regenerate itself is with kids that are passionate. And then, and unless they take it upon themselves to show that passion and build themselves, it's just going to be us, as you say, rehashing.
Exactly. So that's one of the reasons I was thinking of stepping away. I'm a perfectionist, though, me. But I'm like, the idea was originally I was going to step away, but run everything from behind the scenes, just make sure the business is done right, and then have a face of Premier Battles. But I'm too much of a perfectionist. I'll just end up doing everything again. I'll just end up and editing the video.
That's why you've got to say. That's why you've got to wash your hands of it. That's why I had to. I remember Chronicle used to message me, like, when I quit, Chronicle used to still message me every month or two saying, come back. There's a few you have to just walk away.
Yeah. But you see, even all the old guard are sort of, look at O'Shea. O'Shea used to battle sometimes twice a month. He probably does one a year now.
I used to battle twice a day. I used to have 2 a day for a good few events,
Let me see how many battles you've got online.
Do you know what? Like I think I said it to Tom, or I said it on a comment a while ago. I had a run where I think I battled at the April Fool's event.
Yeah.
That got 130,000 views. On the same event, I battled Definition that got 500,000 views. Then the next week, I battled in Norwich. I battled Bowski that got 50,000 views. And the same day, so this is almost, and the same day I battled Mark Grist and Mixie with Pedro that got 130,000 views. So that's in like an 8-day period, 4 battles, all hitting over 50,000 to 500,000 views. And in the week after, I battled, what was it? It was ZT in To The Test 10. So that I can't remember the time frame, but it was like, and then I battled Wayne the day after. And in between that, I battled Baron Mind in Wolverhampton that got like 10,000 views. So it's like I did about 7 or 8 battles, but then it was like, it was easy, as I say, because I had my formula. All the bars were basically the same. You cut and paste, but change out. So it was ZT, it was like, what short jokes can I have? Against Batman, it was like, what Batman jokes can I have? Everything was there ready for me. And I remember while that was going on, I set up the Sweden battle that I did sort of 2 months later. So everything was just everything just went hand in hand. It was so easy. There was no challenge. Everything was just easy at the time.
And that goes back to just battling. Like you say, he was just accepting whatever was thrown at you. I think there was only probably 2 battles I ever turned down, and it was just like, it wasn't because of the opponent, it was just because time never sort of, I couldn't do that weekend or whatever. But these battlers that I won't mention names because it's pointless to just start fucking crying on the internet, but these battlers that I've spoke to that I've had 5 battles top, say. And then I've messaged them going, hey mate, do you want to jump on this card against this battler? And they'll reply and go, nah, he's below me. And it's like, come on mate. Like,
it's entitlement, Briggsy.
Earn your stripes. There's people who...
It's entitlement.
I've had battlers ask for internationals after they've done 3 battles. I've had battlers ask for pay after 2 or 3 battles. I've had... Fucking hell, mate.
I've had the amount of battles I've done, and I've never had a one-on-one international in England. Ever.
I've never done. Never had. Yeah. I've been in international. I've battled people abroad, but I've never even had that. Yeah.
I've had a.
I did low question also. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I didn't expect it, and I sort of put pressure on her, but her just used to come back and say they all want O'Shea every month. Yeah. What's his name? What's that geezer called? I can't remember his name now. But Frank Stacks and people like that. Every month they come over, and I was thinking I'll make the most sense with Frank Stacks. We're both sort of quite large people and funny and all that. And O'Shea's just had this person, that person. Can I have him? And it's like he doesn't want you. He wants O'Shea, and I accepted that. It's an entitlement these days, and I tell you what, the amount of comparison to the wrestling business, wrestlers that are entitled as well. They're always going on the internet. I mean, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and these aren't my opinions. They're rehashes of the ones I hear, but they talk about how entitled these guys are now. Back in the day, the wrestlers would bleed and just work their asses off because they love the business, and they'd get paid £50 and they wouldn't complain, because if you complained, you wouldn't get booked the next month. And you wanted to be a wrestler. You wanted to be a wrestler. So no matter what you had to do to be a wrestler, you used to do that. And these days, people, something bad happens. I can't think of an example, but one little bad thing happens, and it's like, and they complain and they bitch and they moan and they go on the internet. Jim Cornette is always going on about these guys complaining. I love listening to him, but he talks about the old school, like I do with battling. And he talks passionately about where the wrestling business used to be, and about how people these days look back at the people getting beaten up and stiffed and bullied and treated like shit, but the wrestlers were there. They were getting bullied and they were accepting of it because they wanted to be a wrestler. They wanted to be part of that scene, and that's where the passion comes from. And that's what people haven't got these days, not only in wrestling but in battle rap, is that they want, and they're not prepared to give because they're not passionate about it. And we need people that are passionate about being battle rappers.
Well, I remember when I was in Don't Flop, To the Test 10 is the prime example for me. Like, I knew that event was coming up in like 6 months. And I remember thinking, I'm going to be on that event. Like, I don't care who it games, I'm going to be on that event. And I think I went 4 battles. No, I was on 3 battles unbeaten in the space of 6 months just to get on that event. And then I battled Soul on that event. But like, it felt
How good was that event?
Oh, that event was probably one of the best I've ever been to. I love Leeds. Leeds crowds are sick. But yeah, I don't think battlers do that now. Like, if I was a battler and I'm going, right, the big events that are coming up this year is Apex, and Don't Flop will probably do a birthday event, which are always big. They're the events I want to be on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to smash 5 battles this year. I don't care who it is. I'm going to get 5 wins and then make sure I'm on that card.
Do you know what? That's the way I felt about your lab battle event. That's exactly the way I felt about your lab battle event, because I knew you were getting Disaster. I thought you were getting Arsenal. I knew you were getting these guys that are immaculate. For me, one of the biggest thrills I had in battle rap was being able to perform with immaculate judging my battle. Unbelievable. But I remember thinking, I'm going to put everything I can into this performance because there's going to be some big names and they're going to go back to America. And when my name comes up, they're going to remember me, and I might get a shot out there. It was about get my name up. But I remember your lab event was a real. What you were talking about there, I really wanted to put on a good show
How small was that room?
That was amazing. Honestly, that's one of my favourite battles I've ever done. I watched that back, and I wish I don't wish it was on Don't Flop, but I wish more people would watch it and appreciate it, because I think for what I did. And I remember leaving it on the way home, because it was a case of driving from London to Manchester with my mates who were driving. And then as soon as I was on, they were like, right, it's going to take us 6 hours to get back. Can we go now, please? So having to leave straight away. But in the car, I said, I can't believe the reactions I'm getting. I said, I can't believe that shredded wheat line got that reaction it did. And they were like, yeah, they just wanted to, the word shredded wheat was all they wanted to hear. It's like, you had the same very piece of shredded wheat buried deep in a crevice, embedded in between his pathetic set of teeth since he was 17. And the crowd went mental, Briggsy, went mental. Imagine that bar being said by someone now. It wouldn't have the same reaction. It was because everyone there was passionate about it and they loved it. Yeah.
I wish we could have done more with Lab. We got hacked, didn't we? Straight away, pretty much. As soon as we uploaded all the battles, someone hacked the YouTube channel. We never got it back.
Was that a chronicle thing?
Probably, yeah. Well, there was a rumour going around the scene that a group of Jamaicans kidnapped me and Shotty and took the channel off us. So, shouts to them group of Jamaicans who kidnapped us for the Rap Battle website.
And Bender and Pesci as well. Being outside and Bender and Pesci coming up to me and having a chat. It's like, right, this is real now.
I battled Pesci and Ulcer. I'd already done the L's battle before it. That was Shotty. Shotty was like, you battling someone? I was like, fuck. Pesci and Ulcer. Yeah. What a bad idea that was. Yeah. Not to pair of innuendo.
But it was amazing for you. It was amazing for me to perform in front of these people. It was amazing for the fans to be able to see that sort of thing. But these days, it's blasé. They expect it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, why haven't you got Pesci? Why haven't you got these people at this event? It's a shame.
People do expect, especially battlers, like they do expect internationals and payment well quicker than we ever did. I've only ever been paid for battles outside of the UK.
It used to cost me money. Getting to Manchester every month used to cost me money. I can remember, I've said this story a few times, but the Battle Blizzard, it got I don't know how many thousand views, 160 or something. And then Chronicles, and I'm not throwing Chronicle under the bus because he had a guy above him who wasn't giving him money in her, and I'm not even blaming her because her had everyone's hand out, whatever. But I remember Chronicle said, "I'll sort you out some money." I asked Chronicle for a tenner to get home, and he said, "No, I haven't got it." And then I was at the train station in King's Cross, and I was like 50p short of my train fare home, and I had to ask some random geezer, "Can I have 50p to get my train ticket?" After performing in the front of a packed venue that got all these views on YouTube. And I couldn't afford to get home from the battle. It cost. That's why I didn't mind when fans sent me a $5 or a tenner on PayPal, because like I spent so much money doing this that like it's nice. It was always nice when a fan bought you a drink or something like that. Yeah,
of course, you appreciate it every time. I think that goes back to our generation of battling. Like you appreciate when a fan bought you a drink because you felt like he's spending money out of his own pocket because he appreciates what I do.
Getting hundreds of thousands of views and appreciating a drink. Like, I don't think anyone bought me a drink at that battle.
Yeah.
Appreciating a drink compared to now getting 1,000 views and wanting to be paid for that performance.
Mate, I remember the Distinction event at Don't Flop, which was one of the biggest ones he did in Leeds at the time. The same event I battled Mixie on. Fucking turned up, battled, and our hotel room wasn't booked, so me and Shotty slept in the coach station in Leeds.
Yeah, I've done that a few times. Yeah.
Like, imagine
me
that.
And Bloodstone, Glasgow. Me and Bloodstone, Glasgow, fucking 5-6 hours. Yeah, I know Shotty. Yeah, big name like Shotty doing that. Yeah, do you know
Shotty had done the Arsenal battle as well.
Because we were passionate about it.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the thing. It was our getaway. It was a chance to go and meet a few mates on a weekend, have a bit of a rap battle, as weird as that sounds.
Yeah.
I just enjoy what we was doing. It's a bit.
And it's the same. It's the same with the wrestlers. It was, I say, getting bullied and that, and beaten up and bleeding and getting paid next to nothing. They did it because they wanted to do it and they wanted to be there and they weren't getting paid. We're in an entitled generation now, Briggsy.
Mate, how good did it used to feel when you come off the back of a win?
Oh, just getting a reaction. Just getting a reaction was. I used to live for it. I used to love it. You can't explain. You can't tell someone how it feels to be on a stage and have people laughing at you and celebrating what it is you're doing. And the other thing as well is the creation. So you're sitting at the computer on your own at 2 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday with £5 worth of Thai weed to keep you going, and like a packet of super noodles to eat that day. But you're sitting there, you're coming up with these bars, you're writing them, and then you're practicing them. And you get to the event, and I get Bowski around the corner and spitting my bars and stuff, and he wouldn't get some of them, and I think, oh shit, is that not going to work? And you get out there and you spit it, and it gets a big reaction. You're like, yes, it's the creation of something from nothing.
No, exactly.
And I was doing that monthly as well, and it was the addiction. The reason I did so many battles is because I was addicted to it, that feeling.
I think that's what it was. I think I only battled Els because Raptor was meant to battle him at the event before and went to jail the weekend.
Yeah.
And obviously I was good mates with Raptor, and Els was talking shit on the internet.
I remember that, and Els had that bar about he's at the door taking money.
Yeah, no, that was Blizzard. Els was meant to battle Blizzard. But yeah, it's like I had no interest in coming back no interest at all in being a battle rapper because I was making music at the time. But the adrenaline from that Els battle was like, get me straight back in now. Like I need another battle.
Yeah.
Fuck, it was mad. But let me just run through a couple of these questions that the fans had for you, mate.
No worries.
That's all. Right, so for Pamflit, are there any big battles that were supposed to happen and didn't?
Frisco 1-on-1, I'm annoyed didn't happen. I really wanted that. I was pushing for that. And then when the eventual 2-on-2 happened, he turned up late. We had to do it outside because they turned up late and we got kicked out of the venue. And then the audio wasn't good. And the fact it was a 2-on-2, the Stowaway's a bit hit and miss, and God bless him, I love him, but Stowaway can be a bit hit and miss with his bars. He's more of a poet than a battle rapper. When he's good, he's really good. But yeah, so Fresco, I'm annoyed never happened. The Saurus, I would have always loved to have happened. That was supposed to happen a few times. The thing is with me, I never set my sights too high. As again, I just appreciated being there and being on those cards. I can't really think of anyone that was supposed to. Oh, Shotty. Do you know what? Genuinely, I'd say Shotty because that would have been my first big battle. And is it Mark Jorgensen? I mean, I've got so many people that I've met through the scene. That I've met and known. I've met loads of times, but like at the same time, around that time you're meeting so many people and you're kind of names that I'm no good with names, and it's like, but yeah, I think he was setting up an event, and he was trying to set me and Shotty up, and I was thinking at the time that would be my first big opportunity. But Shotty, I remember speaking to him in inbox, and he said he was looking to progress quickly, and he was successful in doing that. So you can't fault him on his hustle. The next person I would maybe fault on their hustle because no one's done what Shotty did, but he was obviously right to not battle me. But I remember at the time hoping that battle would come to, because that would have been a good look for me. And Disaster as well. Disaster, I was supposed to battle Disaster in Amsterdam.
See, battles like you, Shotty, you and Disaster, they're one of them battles out there that are so completely contrasting styles. They either turn out to be an absolute nightmare or they turn out to be incredible.
Yeah, it would. I mean, I what we said earlier, I would have battled anyone at any time.
Yeah,
it was a challenge. Getting a barsmith, getting a street rap. I remember when I battled Joker Star.
Yeah,
I remember watching him and think, because his thing was taking a piss out of battle rappers for being battle rappers and not making music. So when I went into I wanted the Joker Star battle because I wanted to say, well, you're in our world. This is battle rap world. This is mum joke world, and so that I always tried to. I wanted different challenges. I didn't want to battle with Bowski every week. Yeah,
I think the thing as well, like when we was doing it, you didn't want to be that guy. People were on the internet saying, "Oh, he's ducking me." Like if you used to hit me up and go, "Do you want to battle Eek next week?" I felt like I was being offended by Eek, so I'd be like, "Yeah, of course I do. Like, set it up now. Let's go."
The reason Don't Flop was so successful was because was good at getting you to do what you wanted. The reason Don't Flop was successful was because was a good sort of leader. He was a good leader. Of people. What he did sort of with that power is questionable, but he was a good leader of people. He could play the magic flute and get you to follow him.
Yeah, that's the thing, that you all wanted to get to the top of what we were doing, and the person who had that power was Rowan, essentially. Like, obviously Kruger and Bamalam and Bagnall were all a part of it, but the face is always...
But was plucking the strings. Was the one that was poking me. Chronicle used to be good at that as well. I remember my Frisco battle, Chronicle inboxing me saying, Frisco's got some personal shit on you, man. You better come good. So then I was like writing my heart out for him, and I turned up and Frisco spent 3 rounds calling me gay, and I was like, shit, I feel tight now, but the Chronicle was good at that as well, yeah. But again, these guys, they were good at sort of handling all these egos, That's what you've got to do as a league owner. I'm sure you're used to.
Oh, mate, yeah, it's hard work. Don't envy anyone who does this. Jesus Christ. There's every day there's another tantrum somewhere. So John's asking, do
you think you're too nice, Briggsy? Do you think you're too nice to? Because Chronicle and were both a little bit not as nice as you.
I think we've got a good balancing act, me and Shotty. Shotty is the one who'll dive off and go mental, and then I'm sort of the one who dials it back, rolls it a bit. To be fair, mate, it depends. Like, if I'm one of them, if I have a genuine issue with someone, I'll just ring you. I'm not going to put it on the internet. I'm not going to go on your DM. Let's talk it out.
No, but you're not going to manipulate people. I don't think anyway. You're not going to manipulate people like and Chronicle used to do to get us to do what they wanted to do.
Yeah, because I'm in this because I enjoy it. I'm not in, like, this is one of the things I was saying about Apex. Like, I run 2 other businesses outside of this. Premier Battles is the one that makes me the least amount of money. If anything, it's the one that loses me the most money. But I do this because it is, like I say, I've got 2 kids.
It causes you the most stress, I can imagine, as well.
Yeah, but it's my escape. I get to go and have a weekend in London doing a rap event. But at the same time, it's more about having a drink with a few people I won't see the rest of the year. Like just having a couple hours chilling with Soul or, Shops or anyone like that.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. You're not manipulating people at all. Don't.
Yeah, no.
It's a good thing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm going to change now to manipulate every fucker into this. What's anyone else saying? John's asked, is there any reason why you think you didn't get as many internationals as you would have liked?
Because I didn't expect them. Again, I didn't feel entitled to them. I wanted to keep proving myself. And I knew why. I knew what was going on. I knew these guys didn't care about our scene, and they still don't today. And this is why I feel a bit tight about going in a Real Deal, because he does come and he does probably put the most consistent performances in, but it's the fact he keeps coming over. And in my head, there's no middle balance for me, because I think people are too far left. So I've got to go right and say, right, I don't want Americans coming over. I don't want Americans taking money out of English battle rappers' pockets, or the English scene in general. So when Real Deal keeps coming over, although he's putting on a good performance, I don't see me, and I don't see anyone really earning the money to put into guys like your pockets. Do you know what? The first time I ever got paid was Skitty in Wolverhampton. He paid my train ticket. He didn't pay me. I think he might have given me 20 quid. Yeah. He paid my train ticket and he bought me drinks all night. It was the first time anyone had ever done anything like that. And I had a nightmare that night that I'd robbed money off him. Because obviously I was feeling guilty because he didn't earn any money. Yeah, he lost money on that event. Yeah, I had a nightmare. I woke up with a nightmare that night because I felt guilty that I'd robbed money off him. Yeah. So it's like, I almost didn't want to spend X amount of money on bringing someone over to get next to no views, and
One of the best things we did is when we did the first season of Premier Battles, we paid everyone. Don't matter if you were top of the card or bottom of the card, and you were all on the same fee. So even whether you were Raptor and Dialect or you were Old English, you know what I mean? Like, not say Old English in terms of like popularity and view count, everyone got £100 and your travel paid for. And if you need a hotel because you were, for example, I won't get someone from Leeds a hotel in Manchester, but if you were
sure,
Glasgow, or you'd get a hotel, and it worked out fine. The only thing that started changing then was when we had to bring in people that weren't originally a part of the structure of Premier Battles who were asking for 600, and it was like, can't justify paying you that when I'm paying Dialect £100. But But I think that definitely makes sense why you didn't get as many.
But this is what I'm saying. But I would never ask for a penny. I would never, if I wanted to do the battle, I'd do the battle. I would never ask for a penny. I would never expect battle rap to be my source of income. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I know there's no money involved. And I look, and the wrestling's fallen off because people expect money that they're not earning. Back in the day, they used to pack out venues constantly. These days, you can't get, and it's not their fault. It's not the wrestlers' fault. It's the fact that everything's accessible online. The internet's huge. Everything's on YouTube. You don't need to leave the house. You've got loads of forms of entertainment. You've got PlayStation games for days. People aren't coming to live battle events as much as they would have done 10 years ago. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm not going to turn around and ask you for £600 for a performance that if they can look themselves in the mirror and say, I've earned this £600, and fair play to them, but I don't think many of them can, genuinely.
Yeah.
No. I used to stay up every night. I used to stay up every fucking night. Not stay up, but I used to stay up till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, practicing, worrying, go for walks, go with my bars a million times because I wanted to put on the best performance I could.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't think these guys are doing that.
No, definitely. There's a handful who are. And it seems to be a lot of the newcomers who are up and coming, really trying to make a name for themselves, which is good.
Good.
But yeah, I think we are starting to balance it. I think we said a lot of people that turned up and choked, so I didn't really give a shit. You're seeing them less and less now. I think leagues are getting a bit more onto the case of sort of, I'm not going to pay you a fee even if you're a big name because you never show up. And I think that's definitely coming back into the balancing act of where we need to be to make it a little bit better. But we'll see. We'll bloody see, mate. Last question, mate, from, where is it?
The look in your eyes there said much more than your words ever could, Brixie.
Oh, that could shoot me good here. Emerge. Oh, shit, Emerge. Shout out to Emerge as well. He's a battle rapper. I'll show you what's
I think I've battled him.
This is a interesting question. I spoke to Shotty about this as well. I've just done one with Shotty. You're in a very small circle of battle rappers who have lost someone close to you and it's been used against you. Did that affect you at all? Like Shotty lost his uncle and Arsenal was in his face saying, Yunnan mentioned it as well. Does that sort of stuff affect you? I don't think there's many battle rappers that have actually been in that situation. People always say how they would react to it, but how do you react to it?
I reacted to it there was 2 main battles where it happened, and they were literally 1 month, and then the next month was the O'Shea battle and then the Blizzard battle.
Yeah.
I can't know. It was, who was it who first? Oh, it was Token. In fact, it was Token who first said it. In my first battle in Don't Flop, I said something about my dad or something like that. Yeah. I said whatever to my dad or whatever. Token was in the front row of that battle. And then we did that Times Change tournament. and I was working at Glastonbury, so I didn't put my full effort into it. It was the first round against a newcomer who I didn't rate, so again, I didn't put my full effort into it. I was one of about 6 big names on the first round of that tournament that lost.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of us went out not showing our opponents the true respect they deserve, and them overperforming to make a name for themselves. But he had the original. I can't watch that battle back now. A, for my performance, and B, for he probably had that was it was like, whoa, someone's talking about my dead dad in a really disrespectful way. So allow that battle. But I was aware of that as an angle that could be used against me. And then come the O'Shea battle, he contacted me and said, "Can I talk about your dad?"
Yeah.
And I said something along the lines of, "Just you do whatever you want. As long as you don't talk about my bird at the time, you can talk about whatever you want."
Yeah.
But then as soon as he said that, I was like, right. So I had my whole third round was about people respecting each other.
Yeah.
O'Shea overstepping the mark, blah de blah. So I turned his angle against him. So that was fair dues. He approached me, asked my permission. ZT actually tried using that angle against me by saying, "You allowed someone to talk about your dead dad. Is that why your mum's not got respect?" And I turned that back on him, saying, "Well, my mum would be proud that I let other people make their own decisions, i.e. I'm not going to tell O'Shea not to talk about my dead dad.
Yeah.
I'll let him make his own decision on that." But it was the Blizzard. By the time Blizzard did it, I was a bit like, there's so much more I'd say to me if I ever battled myself. Than
of course.
Have almost 3 rounds about. So it was like, it never really affected me. If anything, I was a bit disappointed that they didn't come with different angles in my. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I did a good time, but she was my made the first actually. She actually lived him dying, and that's a very real thing to lose your partner. And I've got anxiety at the moment, and it's based on the thing that it's sort of the idea that I might die, and that worries me. Part of what worries me is that I might leave my wife alone.
Yeah.
So then I put myself in my mum's situation. So that's all it was concerning for me, was the fact that my mum might watch it and then get bad memories of a very real thing that she experienced. But for me personally, I was more disappointed that my opponent hadn't gone into their brain and thought of more original angles.
Yeah, of course. I'm personally glad that sort of stuff doesn't very rarely happen. Like shock factor bars. There was like a little small phrase of a period of time where everyone was trying to do them for pointless reasons.
It wasn't pointless. They wanted to get viral. They wanted to shock people and get
Because I was talking to Shotty about the same situation with his uncle who passed away just before the Yunnan battle. I think he battled Yunnan like probably less than a week after it, and that's one of the reasons he nearly started fighting with Yunnan on stage. But he was saying it wasn't that it was affecting him directly, because obviously it was, but he said there's people outside that watch his battles, like his mum, his brothers, his cousins. And he said it's the fact he's going to have to deal with that when he gets home, because they've not signed up for this and they've now got to listen to, essentially their dad or their uncle or brother being spoke about that way. So
exactly. Yeah.
He said like when it was happening against Arsenal, because Yunnan had done it, he sort of tunnel vision through it, but in his head he's already arguing with himself like, fuck, I'm gonna have to explain this now, and this is gonna hurt this person's feelings. And
and it's that entertainment, and that's what that third round against O'Shea was. It was because he went in at Censor's kids, and my whole point was like, right, Censor's not really battling anymore, and he's got a partner and he's got 2 kids or however many kids he has, and it's like, does he want to show up and have people directly insult people that he loves and cares about and have them be traumatized? Or is he just going to wash his hands of it and say, allow this, I'm not going to bother? Do you know what I mean? So my whole third round against O'Shea was literally like, let's just keep this between us. Let's just keep this jokes, because otherwise people are going to leave, because no one wants their real lives affected by a hobby.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
On a more positive note, are we ever going to see Pamflit back?
You can see it now if you want. Yeah, I've got a battle against Nugget for the Rapids Full League. I've got 2 rounds written. I'm just trying to work out the third. That's going to be online, so it's not really the same thing. As I say, you guys get yourself sorted out. You guys get your roster. I don't mean you personally, Premier Battles. I mean the whole scene in general, the whole English scene in general. Get yourself sorted out, and then I will happily do 2 performances a year on cards, because I want to come to events. I want to come to events, have a drink with old mates, make new mates, be adored by fans, get photos taken, be all pretty. But I don't really go out, and so it's almost like I was on a Zoom call, the battle event last night for the Scottish League Iron Bars, and it was like I was chatting to people, and it was like I don't go out anymore. So it's like I want to go out and have fun, but I'm not going to go to an event with 15 people and be the only guy on the card that actually turns up with a round that is worth anything. I want to be entertained. I'm not going to come to an event until the scene's popping again.
Yeah, of course, that makes sense. So where you could go and just actually enjoy it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hopefully we get to see that sooner rather than later, mate. This lockdown might have been a bit of a blessing in disguise, because I don't know what other leagues are doing, but I know ourselves, we've gone back to the drawing board with everything, even right to the point of the logo design and everything. Like, it's given us a chance to sit down and look at everything.
I'll tell you what, this anxiety thing I was talking about, right? I've had to stop smoking, drinking, everything. Yeah. There's no gambling because there's no football. So I am literally full of dopamine. I've got nothing. I've got no outlet, right? And I'm so bitter, honestly. But I sit on Facebook. I've had to come off Facebook because everybody is like, oh, you're all in at the moment, so I'm doing you a favour by creating this art, this poem, this rap, this whatever. Every fucker's doing it. Part of it is because I'm so bitter, that I can't. Briggsy, man, I just want to sit around smoking weed and playing PlayStation, writing battle rhymes. When I'm high, I like tidying a house. I like doing all these things. I can't do that because it makes my heart full of adrenaline or whatever the chemical. I'm not got anxiety. I'm not sitting around moping. It's literally a chemical in my body that's like when adrenaline comes. Yeah. So no, I'm saying I can sit still. When I smoke a joint, it's like whatever, I've got ADHD or whatever. Smoking a joint helped me focus. Yeah. But the adrenaline that causes, that a cup of coffee causes, that a beer causes, makes my heart go like that now. At the moment, the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, this has started happening. Yeah. So I can't sit there and smoke a joint and relax. So I'm just fucking bouncing off the walls, waiting for it to leave my body so I can get high again. It's horrible, brother. You
need to find something to throw your attention into, mate.
I just want to get high again, man. I'm just sitting here counting the seconds till my body acts normal again, man. I'm sick of it. But it's good being sober. It's really good being sober because I can't remember the last time I was this sober, man.
Yeah. See, this is nice. I said I had a few beers last night, but that's the first time I've had a beer. Just trying to keep busy, mate.
You got that self-control. I think it's probably my body saying, look, if you can't control yourself, if you can't go like more than a week without having a couple of beers, just fucking, I'm going to make you do it. So that's fair. It's good. It's a good thing, if anything. But I can't wait to get high again. I'm quite pro cannabis. I'm not out. I don't get on Facebook all the time saying smoke weed, because I think we should have a responsibility to people to not say do drugs. But I think out of all the drugs out there, I think cannabis is it encourages creativity. It's got a lot of medical benefits. So I'm quite pro cannabis, but I can't do it at the moment. It's a nightmare.
Hopefully,
honestly, I've never written a battle bar sober. How many rounds have I done? And I've never written a battle bar or performed sober. I've always had a joint. It's my thing. So it's like I've written 2 rounds before I had to be sober for this Nugget battle, and I've got to go through the process of my first time in my life writing a round for Nugget and being sober doing it. It's very daunting.
No, definitely, mate. Like you say, I'm interested to see the Nugget battle. Is that just coming out online? Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah, I mean, we've got sort of ideas. I really like the way they did it last night. It was like an event. As I say, it was chatting to people. It was like being at an event. Yeah. Everybody knows battled Moz Prob. I mean, if we can get these things popping, man, it was like being at an event, Briggsy.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know if you've got time. I'm going to do it this week. I just need to sort the date out. I'm going to do one of these Zoom chats, but with up to 20 people, and it'll be fans and league owners. We're going to do it as a podcast, but we're just going to talk about battle rap, like what, because it's easy for us inside the bubble of battlers and fans, battlers and league owners to say this is the issue, but it'd be nice to hear it from fans or people who into events.
What they did last night with these battles was they kicked everyone out and just had the 2 battlers. I reckon it'd be a great thing if you had if you did these Zoom battles, but you had 20 people in there, they can't talk, but you can get reaction there. It's basically a battle. You can get, if you've got 20 people and someone drops a bar and everyone's laughing and they wait for their reaction, that's basically a battle event.
No, you can definitely do that as well, because you can just turn people's cameras off, can't you?
No, you want the camera. I want to see.
You want to see the reactions on the video?
I want to. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like being in a room then. Obviously, they're not going to be chatting. I don't want to hear them chatting. But if I spit a bar and someone goes, ha, 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 and I've got to pause, as long as there's not too much of a lag, I think that's the future, especially sort of the short term for what we're going through.
Might have to look into
it, bro, because honestly.
Well, there's a few battles that we booked.
It was sick last night.
Why even try and do that? That's a good idea. Yeah. Good idea, that, Pammy.
The other thing as well, before I forget, is honestly, I had that percolating as an idea, but I didn't really push it through. But they did it last night, and so I'm not going to say it was my idea. They copied it because Mackenzie followed through on it, and come up with the idea originally. But I think to progress that, having the 20 people and having that live reaction, it is a battle. It's because people were doing where they were recording their bars and then splicing it all together. That's not a battle. You want flips, you want live reactions, you want imperfections. I want to choke. Do you know what I mean? It's as close to a battle as you're going to get, but I think that's a solid idea. As well, I was going to say before, oh no, fuck it. I won't say that now. Yeah.
Well, I'll
hold on to that idea. No, honestly, because it's not that relevant for now. Yeah.
No worries, mate. Well, it's been good to have you.
Loads of ideas that always coming up with shit.
Mate, any ideas, you got to find them over. We'll always look at doing
I do.
But it's been good to have you on, bro. It's been good to chat to you because I've not seen you for a bit as well. So make sure you look after yourself while all this isolation shit's going on as well, mate. I know it's mad.
You're all my brothers, man. Like we all went. It's like the boys. It's like wrestling as a term. It's called the boys, and it's like if fans want to be part of the boys and the boys, and it's like what we went through. We're the boys, you know what I mean? So it's always good to talk to guys like yourself. Just all the guys. We spent sort of month in, month out for about 2-3 years together. Do you know what I mean? It's easy to forget, but it's harder to let go of.
No, definitely, mate. Hopefully we get back to that, and this new sort of generation can experience even a little bit of what we did.
Yeah, definitely. But I think it needs to die out. I think it needs to kill itself off and re-emerge. With young people that are as passionate as we were, and build something from nothing again. Because it's like build something from nothing again. Yeah, right. It's almost like holding on to an old relationship. You actually need to just split up with her and start again.
Move on and let it regrow. But no, total, bro. I'll let you get off. Nice one for coming on, though, Pam. I'll let you know when it's
wicked, man. Really enjoyed it.
But if you've enjoyed it, make sure you leave a comment below. Let me know who you want me to chat to next. Click subscribe as well and like, and we'll get Celeste and Bolgin for Pamflit.
yes. Lazy ass Jack, get that roster popping, man. Major concerns. If Major Concerns was as passionate as he said he was when I watched the podcast last week, I want to see you battling at least 3 times every 6 months.
I think because Major did the Academy series, he battled 5 times in a year, which is pretty much every 2 months. And then he only did 2 last year, but I've been trying to get Major back for ages. But
I'm subscribed to you. And I try and watch every battle that comes out. It's almost like what you said. I like watching Car Pressure. It's like I don't think these guys are going to be shit. It's almost like I want them to be shit, so that I can. But then again, it's like the else factor. I want them to be shit. I don't want them to be too polished because I want to enjoy it for the fun of that. But I'm just not seeing these battles pop up. I don't know if it is the YouTube algorithms and that, but I just don't see these battles coming up. Yeah.
Maybe you have to watch a certain amount of them for them to start generating for your news feed or what, I don't know. But we put one out every Saturday, I think. It was only yesterday we've not put one out.
I want to go back and watch them anyway later on.
Yeah, top one. All right, nice one for that, mate. Give me a shout. Let's talk business when you want to come back as well.
Wicked, no worries.
Safe off in a bit, mate.
Keep on. I've been waking at 10 missed calls. Another email that I ain't replying to. Another day comes with another stress, and I can't keep up if I try to. Man, it always goes wrong when I try to make right, and I'm always on the grind every day of my life. Man, I'm trying to turn a penny to a million. but I ain't ever paid no price. They don't know about the sacrifice, the lack of sleep, the writer's block, the lack of pee, the lost loves, the fake friends, and the same cycle to the day ends. Man, it's all the same. Fuck a snake, if my line don't ring, I don't want it to. So don't down my line if you want to, cause I ain't got shit that I want for. See, I ain't got no time for you. Don't call me, there's no line for you. Don't tell me what you're trying to do, cause I ain't got time for you. There ain't no line for you.